Hey there, Get Up and Go Challenge, Day 8. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. We're going to talk about autopilot change. How to make sure that change for you is automatic, not just automatic that it happens because it's happening by default, but automatic, intentionally automatic, so that you are guaranteed to get better results because of the change. You'll always end up better off after the change than before the change, because we're going to install in you a system, a framework in your subconscious over the next couple of days that makes sure that every single time you're impacted with something outside of your control, or a change, or good or bad, a change, a challenge, because we often view change as challenges, not, or as obstacles or as roadblocks, not as opportunities. We're going to install this framework so that you automatically deal with change in the best way possible for you each and every time on autopilot, automatically. Who doesn't want automatic things? That's what habits are. Habits for us are things and processes and procedures that we automatically do. Morning routines are habits for many of us that we automatically do. We get up, we do whatever, we brush our teeth, we exercise, we go to work, or whatever your morning routine is. It's probably become a habit. It might have gotten blown up a little bit during the chaotic times of COVID-19, but you're probably already to the point where you formed a new habit, a new way of doing things every single day, every routine. Now, I like to consciously choose my habits. Of course, I have some habits, just like every other human being, that are by default, and I just do them, good and bad, because we're all a combination of both. But I try to, these days, intentionally select frameworks, or use frameworks or different processes and procedures on my life automatically and on purpose to make sure that I'm forming good habits, if that makes sense. So what's a framework? A framework is just a process or a procedure or a decision-making tool or a habit that we've been exposed to. For example, when I was a teenager in high school, I learned about journalism, and I was on the newspaper. I was editor of our newspaper for our high school, and then again in college I was on the newspaper as well. And one of the things that I learned, which is a framework, is how to write a good article and make sure everything is included in that article. That's, of course, the 5 W's and H, right? Who, what, where, when, why, and how. And if you answer all those questions, for most situations, most of the time, everything you needed to write back in the days when journalism was journalism would be included in that article, right? So who, what, where, when, why, and how is a framework for remembering what to include in a newspaper article, what to include in a paper, what to include in asking yourself questions about a situation. And I still use who, what, where, when, why, and how today when I am writing anything, when I am thinking about a topic or a subject, to make sure I don't forget anything, right? Another framework that I've used for decades is PDCA, which stands for Plan, Do, Check, Act. And it's just a problem-solving framework that I learned in college about quality, and it's the quality framework, it's called, and it's to make sure that you follow the same process for any type of quality problem or quality challenge that would arise in any situation. I was in manufacturing most of my corporate career, and so it would be in manufacturing. If there was a defect or a problem that arose, you would take it through the Plan, Do, Check, Act process to make sure, just like who, what, where, when, why, and how, you were answering all the questions that were pertinent to that situation. So, what are some other frameworks that you've experienced? Some that I've experienced are in marketing, HSO, which is hook, story, offer, or the value ladder. They're just simple ways of remembering more complex things that we've learned, but also to trigger and remind us that of the process that we're using. Think of things like acronyms are really good, like Roy G. Biv helps us remember all of the colors of the rainbow, right? Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, Roy G. Biv. Things like that help us remember things as human beings. So the process, the framework that I want to introduce to you today is called SOAP. S-O-A-P. And over the next 4 days, we are going to cover S-O-A-P and dive deeply and dissect and take apart this particular framework. Because I know that if you do this, if you go through the process one time even, it will positively impact your ability to handle changes and challenges from this point on. SOAP I'll tell you how I came up with it. I brainstormed the different steps and different ways of describing and calling the different steps. And during COVID, we were washing our hands a lot. And so SOAP happened to be an acronym that fit the 4 steps of the process of handling any challenge or change. So that became my go-to thing. So whenever I face a challenge or a change, my brain automatically says SOAP. And then it starts going through the steps of SOAP. I don't even have to think about them individually anymore because it's installed like a habit in my subconscious mind. And so whenever anything comes up, my brain quickly, almost automatically and on autopilot, goes through the steps to ensure that what I do next or how I respond to the situation, instead of just reacting emotionally, my brain, it feels emotions, but it then goes through the steps. And as it goes through the steps super quickly, it serves me up a better response, a better reaction than if I had not gone through them. So that's why I want to break it down for you over the next couple of days. And the cool thing about frameworks is they keep things really, really simple. So our assignment for today is to think about the 7 keys of our life: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationships, and contribution. I got stuck on relationships. Think of those and pick one. I want you to pick one today. So over the next 4 days, as we go through the SOAP model, SOAP, you have a specific thing in your life that you want to work on, that you think is important to you. I just decided I'm going to do physical, and I'm going to be more specific than that. I'm going to do something about my left knee. I've been struggling with my left knee for months, several months now, and I've been working on it, thinking if I just walk on it enough or exercise it enough, it'll be fine, it'll be awesome. But I think I need to go a little deeper on that because it hurts every day, it hurts all the time, and that's ridiculous. So it's signaling to me that there's something wrong. And of course, in my Sharon way, I'm ignoring it because there's so much else going on. So I am picking physical, specifically my left knee. And I'm going to go through the SOAP model with you this time with that specific example in mind. So I want you to pick one thing today, share it in the comments below, one area. You can just pick physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, relationships, or contribution. And then if you want to go more specific and say, hey, I want to work on my relationship with my kids, or one of your specific kids. I want to work on my relationship with my friend or my significant other. I want to work on my finances. I need to find a way to bring in an extra $2,000 a month or $5,000 a month or $10,000 a month, or a specific financial thing, or I have a bill or a house payment or something specific that I want to work on through the SOAP model over the next 4 days. Or mental or emotional. Maybe you're feeling depressed and you're having a really hard time and being lonely through this time, and you want to work on that over the next 4 days and apply the SOAP model to that. Maybe it's your level of contribution. You know that you've got time right now and energy to contribute to the world in some positive way, but you haven't been doing it, and you want to work through the SOAP model in that. Maybe spiritually you want to work on something, or emotionally, maybe you're having a really hard time. I guess loneliness would be emotional. Mental, maybe you have got an old belief that you want to work on and deal with. Pick something, be specific, and throw it in the comments below. That is your assignment for today. And then we're going to work on the SOAP framework starting tomorrow with, of course, the letter S. So get ready, pick something, because if you go through it with a specific example for you, it's a lot more powerful than if you just listen to my examples. Because I've been going through this over and over and over again, literally thousands and thousands of times. And you don't have to do it thousands of times for it to become automatic, just once. All right, have an amazing day. If you have any questions or I can help you in any way, hit me up in the comments below. Otherwise, I will be with you tomorrow.